What do you mean you're first today, Larkin? Welcome on in. How are you? How have you been? How's everything? All day. That's crazy. That is crazy. I hope the stream is going to work today because that's wild. Beige as well. Hi, what the fuck are you doing here as well? Like, it's been a while. How's everything? Keyboard, kid, things. I mean, things, depending, but yeah, that is wild. That is wild. Uh, I kinda, not, it depends on the day, but yes. Lately, more French than Japanese, sadly. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish that wasn't the case. Can't do shit though. I cannot do anything about it. We have some news. We have some good news. We have some bad news. But we have some, cross keys. Hi, or Colin. That's a very non-French sentence that sounds French, but it's really fun. I I like it. I like it. Heart is debatable. I made a face and you couldn't see the face. But yeah, no. Heart is fine. Mostly this is doing its job, which is, the goal of medicines. Um, so that kind of works, but then it makes me tired as fuck. So, yeah. Um, yeah, probably she would. She probably would. Is that not working? Is this PC shit like always? No, that works. Well, I don't know why the technically cool. That works now. James, hi. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. How are you? How's the week? How was the weekend? That's also the question. Yes. Um, I don't know. That's the thing. So I have this thing that is like a month's supply. I'm supposed to take that for 6 months to gate to get some sort of a baseline to know how my blood pressure is going. It is lower. It's not low enough, and it is too low at times. Yay me. So obviously I'm taking it so that I don't really know, right? If it's doing, I mean, it is doing something, but it's not necessarily doing something. Since I haven't had any energy drink for the past 2.5 weeks, right? Basically, um, since I had the spike, I did kind of stopped that just in case, right? No caffeine or no caffeine taurine combination things. Hypersectors. Oh, god damn. 100 is crazy. Yeah. You probably can't hear me. I kind of know what needs to happen. Sorry about that. If you can hear me, that's good, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Yeah. God, that pissed me off. That pissed me off. Anyways, 1 second. I need to read back that message. UK puts us in proximity to friends like Spain, Germany, Belgium, to another language. Yes. But it's, I mean, you are in the UK, therefore you are on an island, and therefore the languages that you have are going to be contained-ish. You're closer to Denmark and Norway to languages, and therefore there is like a probable easier way for you to get access to these, even though they are kind of different, but they still most people in the UK that have like secondary languages are going to be Spanish, Italian, or French. So, yeah. Yeah, and Australian, you mostly have English speaking. You don't really have that many sub languages, right? As far as I remember, you have like the I mean, I was about to say the native, no, but kinda, but not really. Like you don't have things that are part of the country have evolved with different types of dialects ish. Um, so yeah. Anyways, 1 second for the hard thing. Um, so I had blood pressure at 17, 18. This is like 180, 170 milliliter or something. I forgot exactly. It's the pressure of the how much blood goes through per pump. I'm getting pumped in. That happens. So the goal is to have it at like 11 something, 10 something, right? That's the right range. And that medicine is supposed to make it go down to at least 12. And if it doesn't go down under 12 or at 12, I'm supposed to take it twice a day. I'm gonna do the first months entirely with one a day to make sure that I get my baseline proper. And then if it doesn't go down under 12 on a regular basis, I'm gonna try to do two a day. The thing is, since I've been getting 17, 18, would say an average of 16, 17 for sure on a daily basis for the past, I would say 3 years. A lot of the body function that I'm used to do is um, like non or not getting enough blood anymore based on this medicine. So that's why I'm tired as fuck all the time. And that's why going to the gym is really, really slow because I mean, I can do things, but I can't do as much. And also, I know that if I do as much, I'm probably going to raise the blood pressure a bit at times. So there are things that I can't really, do. Yeah, 180. And remember, blood pressure is not BPMs, right? BPMs have been at like 80, 100 roughly. That's regular things. 170 is like 170 milliliters, whatever. I forgot the fucking thing. Um, but yeah, 170, 180. um, so that happens, but I'm back to roughly 12-ish, 13 at times, 11 in the morning some days. Uh, like it really depends. So I'm not stable yet. It's really viable, and it makes sense, right? It is a viable thing anyways, but on the global thing, it is way lower. Um, so yeah, um, yeah. One of my previous doctors was saying, "Oh yeah, you should check that." And as a regular white man, I said, "Yeah, that's fine. I can wait." So yeah, to to answer your question though, what is the cause? We don't really know. Um, and like we are guessing that the energy drinks were part of the options, obviously, based on the fact that like taurine plus caffeine. Yeah, that's a Stoney's fault for calling Stoney. I don't know why I had like no internet for a split second right there. That made no sense. Not a single sense. Welcome on in. Um, Yeah, so I'm back at 180. I have removed the encoding on my side, which means the CyberSect cannot see the stream. anymore. So that means that Techie needs to use the VPN again. Uh, which yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. I have better things. It's supposed to be more stable. It's not apparently. So something is wrong on my machine for sure. For sure. Um, yeah, like it's even worse. But yeah, it's weird. Anyways, what was I saying? Um, that no, yes, no, yeah, no. Like it's better. It's fine. It's going down, kind of, and I'm tracking it to make sure that that it's going. Uh, you know, um, that's gonna help. Um, so the thing is, uh, you should VPN your way in. The thing is, the thinking cause of what it might be is a combination of the current situation that I'm in, the potential stress that I have, which I do have, but re- I don't feel it. Like it's not like a thing that I perceive, and the fact that I used to take about 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, every day, most of the days, right? There have been days at like just 200, but most of the time it's been that. So that's the potential cause, but we are not sure. Um, and there had so the pain that I used to have was an inflammation inside, which is what we talked about last time, and that um, is like the only thing that I had. But based on what the doctor said, she said, "Well, this is just a slight inflammation. I can see it right there, but it's such a small bruise, basically, that it should revert itself to something that makes more sense." Um, but yeah, um, God damn it. Well, I'm sad. Um, yeah, the thing with kidneys is also something that makes sense. I make them work too much because I'm drinking so much water and other liquids, you know, that make me pee so much. So it needs to go through, it needs to be filtered, and it gets filtered, but also these ones are pretty good based on the um, ingredients, right? Based on the ingredients, it's pretty good. It's working. It does what it's supposed to do for basically lowering my blood pressure in a way. Some of these things that we have in them, as in some of the vitamins, some of the um, other ingredients like the cocoa minerals and other things, even taurine alone, not with caffeine, is pretty good for the heart. So that is good. And so the kidneys are working as well, a bit too much, but they are working. Um, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I wish I knew more, to be honest, so that I would be like more knowledgeable and trustworthy in what I'm saying. Because right now I don't know. Um, there is also this thing of technically I don't give a shit, So yeah, as long as I'm not in pain, like that's the only thing. If I die instantly, I'm fine with it. Based on that, the fact that this is a heart condition, it means that it would be a significant instantly-ish heart failure situation, which I'm fine with. The only thing that pissed me off is the time it would take to people to realize that I'm dead because I don't get out and I don't really have contact with my sister or my mom or my neighbors. The only people that would have questions is you on stream because I wouldn't be live for one. There will be no question on or no explanation on Discord, but that's about it, right? There is nothing really more than that. And even then, after that, I don't really care because I'm not there. Um, that's it. So yeah, yeah, that's the only thing. These are the only potential. Um, so the thing is because I have a brain situation already that is making me have a monthly injection. I also have now this thing which is a heart condition ish, debatable. We don't know. Um, and I have other situations, other things that are not really good. Obviously, like I've made the title clear last week, 2 weeks ago. I forgot. I'm gonna die before you for sure. Like there is no question about this. Um, and I'm fine with it. Like I personally am fine with it. Most people not fine with it. And I'm most of the time the only one that just I don't care. Like my pharmacist doesn't understand why I'm laughing about it because it's just like, yeah, well, that happens. What do you want me to do about it? I'm taking the meds. The meds do their things, and that's it. I can just live my life and not complain about it all the time because that's what happened. The thing that I have in my brain is also like, eh, if it goes too far, I'm gonna get what's the fucking word? Paralyzed? Yeah, that's the thing. Good. So for now I'm just using what I have, and I have the thing that works. So fine. So I know enough, but I wish I could like know a bit more. Right now, we don't know enough. At least on my heart thing, I don't know enough, and no one knows enough. And the amount of tests that I've done is such a low level, like very much low level situation, where I only know that I have no calcium plaque in my arteries, which is really good. And I know that I had an inflammation that like doesn't really uh, bother me anymore, but also I don't have that high level of things. So yeah, kinda I know. Uh, I'm gonna say that every time now. That's gonna be the way. Hugo, hi, welcome in. Um, and then Broskies, you said feel free to tell me to shut the fuck up. You're good. Don't worry about it. I don't have any filters. So if you ask a question, I'm gonna answer the question. Um, I, you know, uh, I'm not I'm not scared of explaining things or talking about any things, um, because I feel like it's awareness to an extent, even though it's not like necessarily good awareness. Or watch on YouTube, yes. Can I work on it on YouTube? That's an impressive thing. It's another option, yes. Apparently, on Techie's laptop, when they decided to VPN their way through Belgium, they had access to the stream with no issues. And yeah, that's that's a thing. That is a thing. And James, the question about what is hashtag 1000, it's basically interesting. It's basically when the player on Twitch side cannot understand the stream in a way. For some people it's really weird, and I don't really understand, but most of the people that have this issue only have this issue on my stream, where they can't see my stream at all because it's error 1000. That's yeah, uh, that's the thing. That is the thing. Hey, work on it on YouTube. That's interesting. That's gonna make my YouTube analytics go crazy because you're gonna be on the stream for so long. I guess the thing that could be fun for you, that's dumb, but the thing that could be fun for you, Gana, is you watch on YouTube so that you have the video, but you chat on Twitch so that you have the interaction with the rest of the chat. Potential. I don't know. But yeah, let me read the rest of the fucking thing. It's I Crosskeys, I heard about this thing for epileptics, which is really interesting to me. It's kind of fun. That's good. If that works, that works. I do have an unusual resolution, which is exactly 2160 by 1080. Yes. I am on 2:1 instead of being on 16:9 because I feel like it's better specifically for like this screen. I basically don't lose any of the details of the screen capture, and my face is there and still visible and understandable. But yeah, that's probably the reason. Which means that we are probably going to need to go back to 16:9, and that pisses me off because I don't like it. And also because like most of the 16:9 scenes collection that I have are not set up to have like all of these things that I already have, like all of the alerts, the sounds, the colors in the backgrounds, and so on. So yeah. Yeah, I could do 16:9 with black bars, but really, no, no, not doing that. Not doing that. Have a good sleep, Paige. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So yeah, other than that, cross keys, everything is fine. You can chat as much as you want about whatever. I'm gonna be there. You know, it's fine. It's fine by me. It is fine by me. Yes. So we had enhanced broadcasting last week, the entirety of last week. We couldn't have 1080 for some reason. Didn't go through. It worked for everyone, but it was like 720 max. So that was a bit of an annoyance. And we could blame the multi-streaming as well, because that's also an option. But yeah, that's where we are right now. But it worked. It made everything kind of works only up to 1080. And I feel like if you do enhanced broadcasting plus multi-streaming, you lose some things. You lose some abilities to get some of the Twitch stuff in a way, because you need to spread the output. So for example, like YouTube is getting the enhanced broadcasting, which is up to 12,000 kilobits seconds, I think. I forgot. Doesn't matter. And so it has a very hard time. Whereas right now it's fine. It's telling me that I have an excellent connection, and it's good. And Twitch is the same thing, except a second ago where it kind of broke. But yeah. Um, and then say that again, Stoney, say that again. Where and when, where and how place the watch providers? What you mean? What do you mean? Also, yes, that's a thing. Hmm. Hmm. The other thing, even though, um, oh yeah, this is in my eyes, Stony. This is going to be a where to watch button or where to watch when it's not on the server. So when you have the play button, and currently it's the play button to play the thing on the right side. I think I'm not sure. Um, I would say if you don't have it on your server, if you click on it, just to open a model or something that says where to watch instead, because you don't have it on your server. So yeah, um, I would take a look, James, for next stream, maybe if I take the time to do so, um, to go back into this, but it's so much work. Uh, the best option would be to simply just resize my stream into like a 16 by 9. Don't like it. I don't like it. It's bad. It's not bad. It's just see, I have the same issues. No, that's not the same issue. That's a worse issue. Ugh, that's even on my own stream, so that's crazy. Um, Bazia, hi, welcome on in. How are you? Um, that is twice as worse, indeed. Indeed, indeed. And then, Stoney, you said we have companies too, as in companies that provides? What do you mean by that? Yeah, with VPN, it kind of works. It's a bit annoying, but it kind of works, and it makes no sense. I don't understand. I don't understand why you can have access when you have a VPN at times, depending on the person. It depends on the country in which you are. It depends on the country that you are selecting and the VPN as well. And then um, it depends on the day, where sometimes it works for 20 minutes and then it breaks. And I don't know. I really don't understand. Um, so yeah. The thing that I don't understand with that, James, that last message, I've been streaming in auto in 21 or in 2160 by 1080, which is like 2:1 aspect ratio, for the past 4 years. One of these years, I was in Japan, so I was on another server for sure. But then I came back, and it's been like a year and a half, a bit more. And I've been streaming in 21 by 9 or 2160 by 1080, so 2:1 aspect ratio for that long. And since I didn't change anything, but one day, roughly 3 weeks ago to a month and a half ago, cross keys and Techie and Kana stopped having the ability to watch the stream. And that's it. Um, like, That makes no sense. So that's the thing. The other thing that is important to me also since the beginning is that I have never been in 60 FPS. I've always been in 30 FPS because it's lower resolution in a way, like lower bandwidth in total, because my overall output is bigger if I'm halvening the output or uh, the feed that Twitch is supposed to manage. It's going to be easier for them. And I've been doing that since the beginning. I have never been like in the 60 FPS because that's the thing. Anyways, in all my settings, in all my 5 years of streaming, it has never been an issue. And then for the past month and a half, it's started to be an issue. So I really don't know. It might be a CDN thing, cross keys, but I don't know. And when I check the server in um, in the settings, right in there, when you go into streaming or whatever, and you change the server right here, which I can't do while I'm live, um, that is giving me. I'm in automatic, which is the recommended view or recommended way. It is giving me Paris with 30 options, Paris with 15, and global France, I think, which will go to take one of these 45 servers that are available. So basically, it's going in order. And so in auto, it's going to take Paris 15 servers things and be done with it. So it's the same. I really don't understand what's happening. The output is back at 5K, which is what we had defined. 1 second. Mm, I know these wins. I know these wins. These are robot calls that are fucking annoying. Ah, does it make any sense? Does it make any sense? Anyways, uh, so that makes no sense to me. The fact that this is like in place, it's good. My output is 2160 by 1080 at 30 FPS, and that should work. And so last week I had the enable and enhance broadcasting checked out, and it worked. But with that, the issue that we had was in the multi-stream right here. YouTube was getting basically the enhanced broadcasting feed directly. So you are getting 15 to 24 kilobits second stream on YouTube that only um, like can receive like 6-ish max, 5-ish max. So I would need to go in and then create like a secondary output option um, to not be like a, you know, like being there. But I don't know. Like I can 100% get inside of this. Um, yeah, it does. So YouTube accepts AV1 encoding, which is much better, but also it gives you the ability to get things like 1440p, which is supposed to get better ingest on their end. But no, for some reason it just doesn't like it. So I don't know. And now, yes, also that's also a thing. So it's annoying. So I don't know. That's where we are. I have no clue. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why it's happening. And the only thing that we know is that it worked last week when I was in enhanced encoding or enhanced broadcasting thing, which is probably what I'm gonna need to re-enable. And yeah, yeah, with Atom, with the help of Atom, if there is like vertical and non-vertical canvas, then it combined them, and that's basically why the enhanced broadcasting is an option, because they need to make sure that you can have things. But yeah, um, I am not. Um, I'm not. And to be honest, I am in too many discords that I don't participate in. So maybe I am, and I don't know. Probable. Not impossible. Let's say that is not impossible. But yeah, that I see. Well, I might take a look. I might take a look for sure. For sure. What am I missing? Uh, also, James, 1 second. I need to check something. Yes. I was about to say your badge is really close to this because it is. Yes. Yes. Because it is. This one is really, really good. Uh, they've done a really good job. It's a very simple GIF. It like it works. I like it. I like it. There's been a lot of things, but before I go on to talk about this, we need to talk about this, as always, at the beginning of the stream, which even though it's been like almost an hour of chatting, um, I need some updates. I need to show you some of the big updates, massive updates. You're gonna be blown away. So the perfume app now have a new splash screen. It looks like shit, but there we have something. But we have something. I finally figured out how to get this portion of the screen be flexible so that the cards are gonna be in the center of the remaining amount of space. So um, that like that's gonna be good potentially. I don't know. We'll see. It breaks on some of the smaller devices, and the cards are getting inside of the navigation. Yay! But at least we have the cards, and they are like you can play with them, which is good. You can still tap on them and have the access to the detail view and so on, which is really good. But now what I have added is the ability to get the today section, which I kind of talked about it last week. So that's basically what you are wearing on the day, what you are currently wearing today. If I had something, which is not the case, but I'm going to do that really quickly, because that makes sense. You know, let's add Burger Musk because it's nice. Let's put it into a sample. Let's say I haven't tested it just yet. So that new one that I just added in the top of the thing, collection, whatever, now have the ability to give me more options. So this one, which is a tester, is currently telling me I can test it with the blue button. Something that is not a tester and I have in my collection is going to be in wear today or review status if I just want to make a review about a perfume or something. But currently I'm wearing Viveur de Vent, which is a very French name again. But let's say I wanted to test this one as well. If I start testing and I just add things, whatever, it's going to be in testing mode. which means that it goes in the section that is above with testing at the top and I mean in the order in which you are wearing them. So if you are layering things, you will have um, you know, two of them here, but also you will have two of them here, where you have this one that is currently in testing and this one that is currently in wearing. And the app is intelligent enough to know that wearing doesn't really require you to know anything about them. You have it and you know about it. Testing is going to be triggering the recommendation testing things, greetings, and other weird things at the top to, like just get into the right thing. The stuff that I kind of worked on, and I haven't tried it yet, is if you are layering more than two, I haven't tried if you can have more than two cards in. You probably do because I've done that in the settings, but yeah. So that's the news, or at least that's the main news. This whole thing is a bit better. I still have long press instead of slide, which is kind of sad, but it works. And yeah, you can test one or two on each arm. You can have like uh, I forgot her name, but she made a video lately about uh, a body lotion that is scented and that smells really good. To which, on top of that, she has her perfumes, and then she has an accent perfume extract or extreme, yeah, extract, whatever, that she just sprays, like just on both sides, and that's it for something a bit more fresh. And so that level of layering is interesting. Um, but yeah. To answer your question, here is a question stepping away from design dev. What's the IP situation displaying images of the products? I don't know. I do not know. However, um, I am technically not displaying images of the product. I know. So, what's technically happening is, and I don't remember if I have that right here, but I might. Um, what's technically happening is I'm fetching the OG image. God damn, that's massive. I'm supposed to fetch the OG image, which is the preview, but I'm sending something to someone. I mean, you know what an OG image is. And so I'm simply using that to extract the bottle um, in a better way. Like this is kind of broken, and I don't know exactly why it's broken right now, but eh, it's fine. But that's basically what I'm doing. So I'm previewing the content in a way that makes sense. If I'm going into um, let's use Fragrantica because it's a good example of something. Uh, and let's use the one that we were on. It's not this one, but whatever. The preview OG image of Fragrantica is basically this. And so I'm getting the system to crop like a square around the bottle, and then I'm just extracting it. That's it. If I'm using that same thing, like if the user had this as their first image, I would be fucked. I wouldn't know exactly what to do. Like the system would be absolutely fucked and it would display things in a way that is just bad. So I'm kind of glad that Fragrantica has some sort of a setup in a way. And the thing is, Parfumo, which is the other one that I'm using, is also like uh, much better when it comes to the image itself. So because I'm using Parfumo in most of the cases, it's going to use these ones that are higher quality images in the first place. And the OG image of this is very, very similar, Stony, I'm going to use you for that example because you know that works. Uh, so if I'm sending this, yeah, hi, welcome on in. I have the audio image right here. And so what the system is doing is just it's extracting this image in the center and just pulling out the um, the subject with the basic native iOS stuff. So that's the that's the thing. If I'm going into Fragmentica here to show you exactly what you get in an OG image, it's a bit better because we get more of them. But basically, I'm getting this, which is really shitty, and I should use the second one, but that's not how it works. So, yeah, that's the situation. So, I'm IP wise, technically wise, I'm using the thing that the website is providing in the intended way ish. And then I'm processing that in a better way. So the output that I'm getting here is compliant. So yeah. The thing is, I'm not scraping the data. Like that's the good thing. I'm not going in and just extracting the data from the websites. I have the data in a JSON file, basically. I mean, not really, but basically. And I'm just using what I have. And the more, based on the title of today, the more I look at the fucking database, the less it's good. So yeah. Other than that, going back to the IP thing where you said like, what's the IP situation displaying images of the product? I I don't know. So that's the fair answer. The realist answer on a consumer point of view and on a non-IP related person, right? Um, I don't understand when companies do not want you to use their product in your way of making money because you are making money that they would potentially make if they had access to these people, which is never the case. And so, in my point of view, when I'm having these displays, I'm advertising for free for these companies based on the nature of the app being a journaling app that is simply here to help the user and their collection. They have bought the bottles or samples, or they have received samples or bottles or whatever, gifted and so on. So they own the perfume already. And the fact that it's just displayed in the app or displayed somewhere else, to me, is kind of same. So I don't understand why some companies are really against free marketing and free advertisement. But yeah. And then regarding your second question of can I assume that perfume recipe are top secrets? Yeah.
Props
Props.
underscore TV raided my stream with 24 viewers.
Welcome on in. Thanks a lot for the raid. I hope you're good. Welcome on in. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm AOA. I'm the Figma Designer. If you have any design question, as always, feel free to ask. We are currently in a debate about IP.
TG
So,
underscore Khalil
yeah.
just resubscribed for
Goddamn.
43 months. AAOAEYESAAA Shinya.
Goddamn. Khalil, thanks a lot for the resub. I appreciate.
Hex6 Universe is now following.
Wow, am I gonna be able to read that? Hex, Hex. Nope, Hex. Welcome in. Thanks a lot for the follow. Appreciate it. Trinth, hi, welcome.
Idranth is now following.
Yeah, the same thing. Dyslexia is not gonna work. Props, I hope your stream was good. As always, if you need to rate and run, please do that. If you want to rate and stay, appreciate it. But yeah, it's a Monday, it's a learning day. So if you have anything, that you want to share, please do that. Please do that. Um, or if you want me to take a look at your designs and stuff, that's an appreciated thing as well. Right now, we are currently working on looking at experimenting with my app preview is not allowed. Not allowed, bitch. Not available yet. Yeah. Uh, um. So, in the name of trivia, a lot of time they have the CGT copyright. I see. If the display pattern of not suing people for using their IP. Take copyright as an example. It's the zipper. The name zipper was the brand, but they lost it. Interesting. I didn't know about that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So the thing is the data that I have is not complete. That's the first thing. The brands like Perfumo, like Fragrantica, and Sniff, and other places where you have like the composition of the perfumes, they don't really give you the recipe. They give you the content, and you can potentially guess, but most of it is non-sure data. You only know what is available, and or it happens at times when the perfumer, the person that is creating the perfume, is really vocal about their work and they love what they do, which is really good. Have a good rest of your AFK time. Take care of yourself. Uh, Sometimes they would give the user or the person that is asking the recipe because they just love what they have created and they want other people to create something because they want to understand. In perfumer or perfume talk on TikTok right now, there is a lot of perfumers in school or in non-school that are currently working on creating perfumes for themselves. And so you see them exactly create the things. Sometimes they exactly explain what they have in the perfume itself, as in this is exactly why the milligram of that specific liquid, chemical, scent, note, whatever is in the perfume that is going into that specific recipe in order to achieve that specific output and that very specific distinctive smell that people like. So yeah. So no, not really. Not really. That's the thing. So you have in the app right now, even though it's not necessarily visible because it's tiny, this section right here is the section with the notes. All of these are the notes that I know about based on the database that I'm using that are in the position that they are supposed to be. So based on position, we kind of can infer the concentration, but it's not exactly as true. Like these um, ingredient list on whatever things, and basically what is in first is going to be the most common found element, which right now is acid. This just has acid first. God damn. Uh, so that's that's a potential. So top, middle, and base note have different use cases. So it is potentially a way for you as a perfumer to create something. But when you look at these websites that gives you basically the exact same thing, right? You don't really understand or you don't really know the amount per specificity and how James just said. the notes, you have the voting for ingredients where I could say that this is like way higher or way lower than uh, than I thought or than I smell and so on, and therefore it will just re-rank them potentially. Um, but yeah, that's the thing. So you can't really. Sorry, let reframe that. I can't really infer amount and composition and recipe based on the notes themselves. And even though I am providing the notes in terms of what you're getting that is going to break, no, what you're getting right here, you are not really getting much uh, out of it other than, okay, cool. So these are the things that are going to be in there. The thing that I learned on Saturday, I didn't know before. Um, the the notes, most of them right now in new perfumes are usually chemically created. And so, for example, one of the notes in perfume that smells like cherry is going or is under investigation in Europe for not being that good for your body, and it's a bit not great for your health. So they are replacing it with a new version of that molecule and chemical that smells similar. It's not exactly identical, but that they are creating like a base that you can add on top to get like a different type of cherry. That would never be in here. Like you would have cherry or specific cherry, but that's it. You wouldn't have like the molecule itself. You do at times, but most of the time you don't. So yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if that answers your question. I feel like it does, but yeah. Going back to your question about the IP of presenting the perfume themselves, one, I don't know, and second, I feel like if you are a brand and someone is presenting your perfume in a way that is, I don't know, I feel like it looks pretty good. I wouldn't want my perfume to be like removed, but I also, if there is like a secrecy type of situation where they don't want to share revenue or to participate in something and they want their content to be like removed from the database, then that's an option as well. I can just remove them by default and people would have to manually add the things. But yeah. Um yeah, maybe. Maybe. Um yeah. For sure. Uh if you have a link, feel free to share a link. I would take a look at that. Yeah, I think I would probably do that. It makes more sense to me, and also like at the end of the day, it's just eh. I'm just me. Like my bank account is so low that if you want to sue me for something, then you're gonna get zero because I have zero. That's like the business of the app itself is currently at zero. Like there is no revenue in there. And if you want to have like a partnership, I'm down for it. Like you could have a partnership where I can have access to your database and then we can communicate and it's fine. But it happens. It happens. Um, that is a lot of things. I'm going through this really fast without really reading. Um, for the first time. Okay, gotta read a bit. just as me, just that I understand. Dependency injection benchmark, dependency injection container manage the creation and wiring of object dependency, allowing application to remain decoupled and easier to maintain. Testing these containers verify that they resolve dependency correctly and perform efficiently, which makes sense, which is vital for application reliability. Yes, this repository benchmark different dependency injection containers. Interesting. Quickly containers maintained by the same author as this benchmark, and the results may. Dyslexia is taking a toll. Consciously be unconsciously biased. Cool. Yes, that makes sense. To reduce favoritism, result average of multiple runs and where possible, multiple configuration of each container benchmark with detailed benchmark data, including environment details. Dependency versions is available in the YAML version, and the raw outputs for each monthly run are archived under the archive directory with database subdirectory. Okay. So give me some information here. I need some understanding of what you are looking for, what you are trying to do, and how can I help? Like that's gonna be the main thing. They- Oh, it's too hot. Because other than what I just read, which for me as a non-dev, it's kind of hard to understand. I kind of get it, but I don't really get it. And then most of the things that you have here are to be configuration setups, and then the latest results based on the container, I think, right? So you have container FO6, I think, or something that just runs something and all class names, and yeah. Less like throwing text at the user. The best option is going to be first of all to invert these. So instead of having results and then charts, I would have charts and then results. So that's the like easier for the brain to digest, right? You arrive on this and then you want to dive a bit deeper into the data. You can do that through the table. So just switching these two is going to be an easier thing on the user. Like that's the first thing. The second thing is going to be on these things, even though they are pretty good in terms of understanding what they are, it's still a lot of text, and it's still potentially something that could be condensed into cards. Again, this is a GitHub README, so you don't have a ton of options. But yeah, there is something about like a very simple card, which is name feature that takes like 3 on 1 row, could make things way easier on your hands to just, go faster. Like you can have like 3 of these basically side by side. But that's a bit more complex to achieve, and because it's a README, it might, again, I don't know. But yeah, for the result at least, that's the first thing that I would do. And you know what? I do know. You do have, I'm going to use Vortex because that's the one that I used lately. When you look at some of these things, they have right about here sections like this where you can expand subsections. So I wouldn't mind, personally speaking, having the data into an expandable section where the user would see the graph or the bar charts first, and then they can expand the section to have the exact values if necessary. So I doubt I can do that. I have a lot of doubts on this. Can I do that? I can do that. I'm gonna do that really, really bad, and it's gonna be really, really fine. What I have in mind is this. Even though you have a lot of text at the bottom, at the top that explain the project and that makes sense, you would then arrive as a user, maybe with this section kind of collapsed or something, with this, where you see the charts per container, per category, per things, and then if the user wants, they can expand the results in a similar way as this. Like that's a lot of text under collapsed menu, which I think is a bit better. Like it just I can read the thing. Even this one is a lot of text to me. Uh, Still, designer, non-dev, so text, dyslexic. Not a good idea. But yeah, that makes more sense to me in terms of uh, user experience, ease of use. In terms of accuracy of data, it might seem a bit less good for some users that are like used to see the data in details and so on. Um, but if you still have access to the detailed data underneath, I feel like that's good enough. Top section though. I feel like your explanation is good based on the fact that I read it pretty quickly. I had a hard I had a hard time with it consciously because you know obviously. But other than that, I feel like that's fine. The test file to explain what the tests are is potentially useful. Um, the environment is debatable, but yes. Something like this might make more sense. Like that section, if that's an option that you have at the top, where you say this project has been run in that environment of PHP 8.4 with no Docker version or in Docker. I don't know what that means. And currently running on Ubuntu latest version, so that you have this right here, because it is where things happen. That would basically allow you to remove that whole environment section without having to really, uh, care about it, because it's data that is useful. It is useful. It is necessary to be displayed at some part of the explanation, but it's not the most useful thing for most users. And then running individual things, that's for you as the user that is using the thing on your machine, you would need to do all of that, and that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, um, again, I'm not the most versed in GitHub README pages. Like, uh, my profile has a lot of things, but I don't, I don't care about the README. Like, there is also these are personal projects, so obviously there is no README. But you know, like it's just I don't give a fuck. I think I have a README on this thing. Yes, I do. Good README. This is 12 years old, so yeah, that that doesn't exist. So yeah, no, that would be my main recommendations in terms of UI and UX in order to reorganize this. I have seen um, a lot of people do very cool stuff when it comes to their profile picture on GitHub, and I don't know if you can pull that um, from or for a README. I know the description has something that is pretty interesting. I forgot if uh, I don't know if that's the one. That's not the one. God damn it. Um, I mean, that's PG. That's his account, and I know that he had things. He's done pretty good readmes on other platforms, but like again, this is a designer working on a designer related product. Therefore, it's going to be designed in a way. Your stuff is very much data oriented, so that's a yeah, that's a thing. um, I would lastly, because I can't shut up, you might have a better representation of the charts in something a bit different. Maybe you can order them or like reorganize the data in a way that is interactive, if that's an option. I doubt it, instead of just an image. But yeah, I know that what's the fucking name? There is a website for AI tool benchmark things. I forgot. They have a similar chart, which is a bar chart. My main issue here is that I can't see shit. Uh, like I don't know what model, what file, what thing these are. Even if I were to click on it and zoom on it, I'm not getting like the information I'm kind of in need of. The only thing that I'm seeing is that this one is very long as a name compared to this one. So yeah, have a good rest of your day, girl. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. So yeah, that's the only thing. Your charts are interesting, but they are missing something of readability. It might get a bit more complex to do based on the data that you have, or based on the tool that you're using to output said charts in the first place. Because if you don't have something that gives you like good looking charts that are readable, I get it. You can't do much. So yeah. Um, Also, I'm looking at most of these. I I mean they mostly look similar. So yeah. Yeah. I mean generating them yourself is fine. It's just like the output, no. The layup might be a bit better if you did something like oh, I hate doing these, but that might work better for you. Again, I don't know if I will be able to do that in Figma in like a second. But if you have your bar chart that looks like this, and then underneath, instead of having your text in a right, please, in a regular horizontal way, that helps. Why not just do these ones? I, I, it's not the best, I know, but if you have your text in that format with that diagonal thing, then you have like the bars to define things. You would be able to, in that overall thing, to get like 2 lines of text and potentially center them in a way that would render them more readable than what you currently have. The main point here is that I would be able to get like 14, 16 point text in 2 line that is like readable-ish. Again, this is like not the best, but whatever, it's there compared to what you currently have, and I'm gonna make that in an exaggerated way, which is currently like I think you you basically have that as 10 and light from my perception, right? So just making them slanted might help. I know that these types of charts are not necessarily the easiest to read based on how things look, because you don't necessarily understand like the relationship in between the bars and the things and the whatever. So I get it, but if you have enough space, if you have enough thing, that could work. Could. Um, so yeah, that's a potential to make that better. But yeah, that's just gonna help. So that would mean your cards are gonna be a bit taller overall. You would want to have like a bit more space at the bottom to display text in bigger fonts, and then based on that uh, representation of the linkage with the diagonal that defines the separation in between the columns, you can reduce the space you have right here. So that's right now is like 1.5 column in between two columns. You could reduce that to half of a column between two columns if you add them slanted with the guides, because that's just yeah, that's the yeah, that's the thing, like that. And even then they don't have the lines. I feel like that's easier to read because that gives you the ability to get the text bigger. Right now it's still really small, but um, it could render a tad better. Or right, or you could go this way. That would make your card way taller for sure, but you could do that with in the different axes. Um, that would make each of the section much bigger with most of the data understandable really, really quickly. You just have one bar per section, but that's, it works the same way. So yeah, that's an option. If you want to keep your current version, I would personally go with the one I clicked on a second ago that I can't find now. God damn it. Right here, with that rendering, because it's uh, it's easier. It still gives you the ability to potentially get uh, that. Like that's the only reason why I would keep your current setup, is because that way I can compare F6 and F6 startup, and then F6 startup and P16, and then P16 and P16 startup, and then Z26 and Z26 startup. Like I could combine them together to see which one makes the most sense for my needs, if that's something that happens on this platform. I don't know. But if that's not the case and you don't mind, then I would have them vertical so that you have better data representation and better visualization of said data, because the title can be much bigger and easier to read for most people. Like that. I mean, not that, but that um, makes more sense. Specifically because you really don't need too much of information, um, and you can have like comparison and stuff. If if I don't know, comparing what I just said, right? Comparing F06 and F06 startup makes sense as two things that can be compared together, having them in horizontal bars with F06 here and F06 startup next to it might be an option as well. It is, though, easier to just keep what you currently have instead of setup. And I don't know how you can do like two columns stuff in READMEs. Again, I don't know. But why not? Um, why not? So yeah, option one, diagonal titles. Option two, horizontal bars. Option three, side by side horizontal bars. Could be an option. Could help. But that's what I could give you on this one. You see, I would have a very, not to dox yourself, but I would have a very much easier time pronouncing your name as Björn than Beldrins, because that's hard for me. Yes, that is a fair point. Chris, what on? How on? Björn is like so. It makes sense. You know, that's about it. The rest is just because it's text based, and I hate text. So, you know. It is. The Figma Make is really shitty unless you know how to prompt, unless you know how to ask and what to ask and how to understand what Figma Make can do. My best recommendation for it is going to be use a Figma file that has the content you want, in like a final design piece situation. So if I was not here, but I'm going to use that. If I was to say, I need this in, it's so funny. I need this in a Figma Make, and then I explain this, and then I present things, and even then, like there is so much that needs to go into that specific page. For example, it would have an easier time to figure out how to do stuff, but it will have a very hard time anyways. The main point is going to be make sure that your Figma file or your Figma frame is named properly, set up properly, like naming your layers, which is absolutely not the case on this one. You know, like that would make so much more sense. If I go into, I don't know, something like a Line UI is going to be a pretty good option, or even like an iOS version, but like just the Line UI is going to be good. God damn. There is so many of these already. Like if I go into, we talked about it before, the marketing sales things, and then sending this to Figma Make is going to be way easier because it has proper structure, proper auto layout frames, proper alignment of things, proper namings, and then proper content namings inside of it. So all of that is going to give you like so much more validations and ease of understanding from Figma Make point of view that you wouldn't have with something that is not named properly. So that's the first thing. The thing that you said you want, you said you want to create a 3D museum experience to present art. I think you're asking the wrong tool to create something like this. In what I would highly recommend you to do is using Spline instead, if you can. I know we talked about it before, but Spline specifically is going to give you the ability to get like the 3D in no time. So that's the first thing that you want to do. The latest addition is this. um, you will have the ability to generate like a model through the AI generation thing. I haven't tried it, so I don't know. I can't give you feedback on it. I just know it exists. That's it. Um, and the other thing is that they also have the Spline community, which means that if you are currently looking for museum environment, goddamn, that looks cool. Museum, um, you may have already things like this that exist to provide like 3D environment experience-ish where the user can navigate through it. And you can use that as a base because it's part of the community section and just play with it. Um, but yeah, I would recommend Spline rather than Figma Make because you know that's not what I'm supposed to do. I don't know if I can navigate. Oh, I can, but not exactly how I thought I could. You know what? I feel like Spline is pretty good, so I wouldn't think too much um, about what it is and how it looks and so on. But I mean, generated content as always is going to be kind of bad. So, yeah, I get it. But yeah, you can kind of navigate through that, which is not necessarily good. That graphic version is so cute. Goddamn. Uh, forget about it. I said nothing. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, that's crashing. Ah, I shouldn't have done that. My computer is gonna die. So yeah, that's the option. That's option number two. Option number three uh, is to create something or to use something that already exists. So I know, raise yourself. Uh, I forgot which one is the one that I use. That's not it. I have most of my NFTs from 2021 that are hosted in one of the 3D rendering libraries things. Um, so that is something that exists and that has. I have so many, yes. uh, and so that is like this. No, it's not this. Um, they have like a 3D environment in which you can hold your space and your stuff. But uh, yeah, I have a ton. And yes, uh, it is too much for Figma for sure. I would not recommend it. I would not recommend it. Uh, I should have done Square, and I realized that later, and I'm a dumbass about it, but that's fine. Um, in the one that I own, I have more like 3D related stuff more art related stuff. The ones from No Work was really good. Um, and the one from Daya have been really good as well. And the titties, obviously. I couldn't pass the titties. Uh, I couldn't. Uh, yeah, some of these are really good. Still, the thing that I did like about the NFT era is the awareness of some of the new artists that are good and are competent in their creations, and that then ended up doing like so much stuff that now they have so much money and they have been so successful because of the boom of the NFTs. So Lauren, for example, is someone that is like was kind of successful before and known, but not that much, but kinda, to now doing work for some of the biggest companies and just you know having some of these things held in art galleries as digital art rendering and so on. So yeah, I like that. I feel like this is a really, really good thing to see happen. Like Daya has done, we kind of talked about her last week, but Daya has done like a lot of new pieces related to, I think it's Nike, but I'm not sure now. I have no memory of that, but she has worked with other very big brands that she wouldn't have seen before. And she basically just blew up on one of her first creations, not these ones. Um, and just, you know, people liked it for good reason. And after that, that was it. Like some of the first thing that she has made, like this one, and this one was really good as well. I tried to get this or this, I forgot. It's been a while, but failed. Eh, but yeah, I have it on all the platforms. Nonetheless, there is like the NFT 3D gallery things, which is probably spatial, probably to be honest. That does have like the proximity sensors, the voice chat type of thing, and you can just navigate through your whole collection. And so if you want to create something like this, I feel like you're gonna waste more time than just use their stuff directly because it's available and it's there. But that's on you. That's on you. You decide. But then again, 3D for Figma? No. Don't don't attempt it. It's gonna yeah, no, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad. Do I still have that? No, I don't have that apparently. God damn it. Nah, that's an option. So yeah, that's what I would say. Um, that's what I would say for the README. That's what I would say for the 3D things. I don't think there is anything else that I know of on 3D related content that would make sense for you to do. However, 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 there has been a lot of good outputs. I know that Miki has done stuff in like Figma Make, obviously, he works at Figma, so obviously there is like a ton of thing that is like shared and showcased and so on. But he's made a lot of content on Figma Make to showcase the capabilities. Most of it, at the end of the day, is uh, flat-ish and like design related, right? Not this one. I feel like is a bit of an extra curriculum situation where like that's something that wasn't supposed necessarily to happen and still happened because Big Jam Figma Make is using Tailwind in the background and 3JS and other platforms, and therefore can create stuff in 3D. But it's kind of wild overall. It's not supposed to achieve any of these. So yeah, if you go into Miggy's timeline, you will see like a ton of things related to Figma Make, specifically the latest one, and some of the outputs and the creation that have been like pretty good. Same thing on Roji. Like, I mean, both of these have the same system or the same. They both work at Figma. That's what I'm saying. And so they will showcase things. The fact that Roji is now part of the Figma Draw team and not the Figma Advocate, Design Advocate team anymore, I think it will have like mostly illustration and drawing related content in there compared to anything else. God damn! Sorry. That's a Figma file. Damn! Look at it. Holy shit. That's crazy. If you zoom on it, it's kind of shit. But if you look at it from far away, goddamn. Anyways, my take remained the same. These are things that might like might be good, but yeah, that's about it for creations. Other than that, you will have like a lot of issues in the long run, so I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, but even then, like, have you seen Illustrator Turntable? Which one is going to be the easiest? I guess TikTok is going to be the easiest than this one. I'm gonna, safety first. uh, that is something that just happened, and that's crazy. So Adobe just released this thing. You create your illustration once, and then it just generates a turntable for your characters, and it's just uh, impressive. So that's it. That's all I can say. So you take whatever you have. I mean, this fucking video is way too long, but that's fine. Um, Going in there, creating the fucking thing, and so on, and then just hitting turntable, and that's the thing. So you would not be able to achieve that level of 3D 2.5D rotation slash Doom level of like fake 3D easily in Figma. It's not impossible. It is just such an annoyance to go through all of these things and create the 3Ds. We have talked about Shadow, I forgot which one it is. I think that's the one. That prototype specifically that I did roughly 4 years ago now, where you can just play with the sun to have like a different uh, shadow porting. And even then, that's shit. I don't want to say that this is the best you can achieve in Figma if you want something that is uh, 3D-ish, but kind of specifically if you want like environment in which you would have like transition and rotation and things. It's kind of complex to achieve like such stuff. It's annoying. So you can get some 3D-ish rendering-ish. You know, you've seen that. You've seen them. I've done them. But you will be limited in your output in things that are as flat as they can be, or like you wouldn't be able to rotate around things. Like these ones, for example, that's a simple thing. It looks 3D, but I can't rotate it. Like I wouldn't really be able to have this go from here to here, for example. Like that's not something that would make sense, which technically it can't be like this, but you know, it should probably be like this in a way. Um, but like, yeah, I can't do that. Like, it wouldn't do that with a Figma prototype, and therefore, it would be a waste of your time to attempt to achieve this. So, don't try. Don't try. Best option again. Um, Spline is best option. We don't really have other 3D in the browser situation as of right now, or let me rephrase that. Good enough 3D in the browser as of right now that I know of. Um, but you have my brain is working way too much right now. This is an option, yes. um, you have the ability to render things very badly and then add effects to the rendered very badly things to make what you have really badly rendered look better. So these elements are extremely bad. These are very basic shapes. They have renders that make them look a bit better. They have like shaders or other things around them. Maybe they have like a modifier that makes the outside looks glassy and the inside looks not glassy and so on. I don't know exactly how they've done that, but they've done that. All of that is rendering option to make things look better. So you can get something that looks really bad in the first place, look much better. And from the thing that we shared earlier, which is museum or gallery, let's go to gallery to see if there is something like shit like this, for example, can be rendered really, really bad. And then you can just add stuff in it that makes more sense. This one, for example, looks really, really good from an external point of view. It's a very big square, apparently, and that's going to be enough. The others are debatable. This one might be closer to what you were looking for because it has like corridors and placements for art piece and others. But yeah, like that's going to be things that work. and it's going to be easier for you to just go through that with spline and then potentially make a mix of this and this, like maybe like the frame on these things and the presentation of how they have done that, or maybe you prefer this one because it's like more ornamental. I don't know. It depends on you. And you just implement both of them into the same file and just play with that. That could work. But yeah, interesting. um, but yeah, no, that's about it. Like you wouldn't be able to get too much of a 3D things in Figma. That's for sure. That's the first. That is the first thing. Yeah, you can have something like this. Um, if that's just what you want to have, this is 100% Figma achievable. Like there is nothing complicated about this, uh, other than you need the right pictures. But that's about it. Other than that, this is extremely simple, and that's not even rendering in 3D. That's just finding the right image to use as a 3D background. Meaning that if you have minimal desk setup things, I don't know if they use the same image, but it looks like they use the same image. You know, probably. Kinda. Almost. It's the same. It's the same bars. It's the same thing. It's the same chair. You know. So your ability of finding like a desk setup that is similar, that is like full uh, front facing camera on the wall, and then you just use that as your structure for your rendering inside of Figma. This is something that is feasible in like 5 seconds, uh, and you know, I can do that. Let's find like something that is a bit better. Uh, the only thing that is kind of annoying for Figma is that we don't really have the tilt. I wish we had the tilt, and we don't. Um, but yeah, let's use that. Um, yup, that's way too long. Wrong file. Wrong file. So, ta-da! I mean, prototyping in Blender directly is not a bad idea, but it's also like not necessarily um, the easiest thing to do when the person in question doesn't necessarily know exactly how to, which, it happens. I don't know if that's a good idea or bad idea, but I'm going to try anyways. It's going to be fun. Fuck. Damn. Well, I thought. It doesn't matter, to be honest. Terracon, hi, welcome in. How are you? So you could 100% get your posters things here, you know, and then just have that in a frame, and set frame is like Yeah, maybe. um, Somewhere around here. And that is basically just saying I'm going from there, which is going to be clipping, to here, just sent it, to then here, it's not sent, right? That's my three things. And I could just take this one and say in prototype, I know it's gray on gray and it doesn't really matter, but on click, it goes into Smart Animate. It's going to take like 12 bitch, 1200, because that makes sense. And that's it. Like I then have, if I click on this, it's gonna go through. So technically speaking, this creation of a wall-based art piece and the user can just navigate through that, that's not something that is complicated to have. The most complicated thing is going to be the navigation inside of the 3D environment. And like Spline has things going back to what Terracon said, even though it's not directly related, but it is directly related. Blender used the OBJ object file, and you have the ability to go into Blender markets, Blender objects, rendering farms, and things that already have other OBJ related objects that you can just, import into Spline. Yeah, you wouldn't really have the ability to get like too much of a perspective effect, but this shadow for the lifted from the floor, that's a very, very simple thing to achieve. And again, we do that all the time. Um, if we go back to this one, that's the same exact concept. The This one is just it has that perspective, but it doesn't have perspective per se. It's just flat. The only perspective we see is on the first fucking frame because we see the edge of the room. But that's it. The rest is just really, really, really flat. And it's just parallaxing and making sure that you have the pillars, the bench, the people that are moving at different pace. But that's about it. Um, nothing nothing other than that, to be honest. So yeah. You could maybe use something like this to emulate the depth. I don't know. Is that necessary? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe that does exactly what you're looking for, but I don't know. I feel like you want something that is a bit more um, natural and 3D and immersive than something that is flat with a bit of shadow that fake the 3Dness, right? Simulate the 3D. So yeah, this is really good though. I'm seeing things that are really good. Um, Damn, I like that. Oh, and now it's white. God damn it. Yeah, and have a good rest of your day. It's sad because we arrive on the section that is exactly for us. Like, this is the type of fucking design we like. Have a good rest of your day. Nox, we're calling. I'm doing pretty good. I'm tired because I'm tired all the time, but I've done a lot of progress and I'm really happy with that. So, yeah. I need to stop being on Pinterest because that is the death of me all the times. I'm currently living in these types of illustration and environment on TikTok all the time, with most of my content being related to touch designer, generative creation um, of content. Like that's what I'm seeing. The fun thing is I'm seeing touch designer content from Russian people or like Russian like speech. And yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah, I mean, not following, but this is like what I'm seeing all day. Um, it's really fun. It depends. I have trained it in multiple related things. Also, Chris, for the hand gesture related stuff, touch designer is going to be a very, very good thing for you to understand and potentially like use to create something that is interactive. I don't know exactly how to integrate touch designer output into sorry into I just I just saw that that made me laugh. That happens. Then I get it. I get it. Uh, I don't know how you would be able to implement Touch Designer inside of a web project, but it's still like pretty interesting. In order to train your algorithm, you basically want to interact with the things that you like and disinteract with the thing that you don't like. So let's say I'm here and let's go into uh, TikTok right away. Sorry for the ass, probably. Let's say I'm not interested in this. You can just long press and then click on not interested. And then from there, it will give you like reasons. And you can say, well, I'm not interested in that. And that will train your algorithm with other things. So maybe you like UX related content and you just like it. Maybe leave a comment that is related to the video or something, and that will basically train the algorithm in showing you things. My current algorithm is this guy most days trying to speak Japanese in different accents, which is really fun. And a lot of projects, a lot of things, a lot of tattoos and titties and other things, cats, lots of cats. Most of them are cats. Not gonna lie about that. But yeah, like that's the thing. If I have like art related content that is good, I'm gonna like it. If it's not, I'm gonna move on, and so on. That's how you do things. That's how you train the algorithm. The thing is, the TikTok algorithm is getting Americanized again. It used to not be, and it was better, and now it's kind of bad. So the thing that I did 2 days ago was reset my feed, turn the app in Japanese, which is why it was in Japanese right now, and that gave me 99% of my content on my feed in Japanese. And from there, I just interacted the most with most of the one that was pretty good. And now most of my feed is Japanese content, which is good for me for training and for learning, but it might not be for you. And you can't turn the app in language design. That doesn't exist. So you would need to search for things. You go into the search bar, you look for stuff, you like the stuff in questions, like maybe you like this, it's a lot of flashes. Yes, not for you. I love these ones. These ones are really, really good. Um, but like it makes sense. And and that will teach the algorithm into like, oh yeah, that person likes this thing. Like they have made the purposeful willingly search of that specific term, so they will probably be interested in similar things inside of the algorithm. So that's the thing. If you want an algorithm that is much better, um, and much faster at understanding what you are looking for right now, Pinterest used to be really good. So if your algorithm Pinterest is still good, use Pinterest. If not, and you still have access to it, Xiaohongshu is really good. It's basically TikTok plus Instagram plus Pinterest have a baby, and it's just so fast. Like if I see something that is in my For Me page that is a bit different to the usual, and I click on it, and then they show me something similar 3 posts down, and I click on it again, that's it. My feed is now this thing. Like there is no question. So if I clicked on this and I liked it, that's about it. Like my feed is going to be illustration type similar to this in like 5 posts. That's how it happens, and it's so fast that if I click on the Duolingo thing here, that is probably already to Japanese, for me specifically, or I know that we had other things about Japanese illustration and things. See, illustration again. um, it's going to be really, really fast. So these apps, most of them, at least for now, are tailored to you as fast as they can so that you remain and they retain you and they keep you on the app because what they are feeding you is exactly what you're looking for. So if I'm looking for gym stuff, I'm going to see gym stuff. If I'm looking for mid-journey prompting things with illustration and stuff, I'm going to see that. If I'm looking for design-related content and I'm interacting with it, as in I'm looking at all the pages and I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's like this. And then moving on to the next post that seems really good. And if the next post that I'm clicking on is like, oh yeah, that's a very nice like design thing overall, and I do like it, then the app knows that I'm into these type of things. Like that's their goal. They want to keep me uh, as much as they can on the platform. So they do a good job for that. And for TikTok, when it comes to is it country related? Probably. Um, there is a high probability of, based on the environment, they are feeding you different things. And it makes sense. The thing that I've seen though is that Xiaohongshu, which is a Chinese app for Chinese people, mainly for Chinese girls, has given me everything I like to see really, really fast. So I have Japanese content, I have design content, I have ass content, and I have gym content. And I had that like in my feed on the first 2 days, basically. Like it just basically understood, oh yeah, that's exactly what he likes. Cool. That's it. And then since then, they have been trying to like give me other things here and there. And if I interact with it, then maybe I have stuff, but that's like not necessarily an understandable element. Um, but yeah, that makes sense. That's a fun thing, by the way. um, mm, the Figma stock story is really fun. Anywho, so yeah, that's how you train. You basically just interact with the thing that seems to be the best option for your like your interests. So if you are looking at designer content, maybe this is something that you would enjoy to play with. You can just go in, like it, scroll down, find something that makes sense, and yeah, then the algorithm just understand what you like, what you don't like, and so to to directly answer the question, how to train your algorithm, I don't know exactly, but everything that I just said is working for me. So I'm guessing that this is working. Or yeah, working to an extent to give me like something that is related to my interest, um, based on search, based on activity, and so on. The thing that is complicated, I would say, if you are someone that is on TikTok a lot and that has chats with other people inside of TikToks, like in my messages, for example, I'm sending 80 to 100 TikToks a day to Kat for sure, and they are sending it back the same amount, if not more. So the type of content I'm sending to other people is not necessarily the content I'm interested in, but is the content that I know they would be interested in as well. And so that kind of skew uh, my whole feed. But still, content that I like and like to see. So that makes sense. But yeah, that's uh, that's about it. That's about it. Um, the last thing that we kind of talked about before, for the 3D rendering inside of Figma, you wouldn't be able to create something that is 3D in a way that is like, um, let's say this poster is on the wall. Your ability to do this, I'm gonna do that really, really badly for now. But like that's on the wall. You understand that this is on the wall. If you had an image inside of this, it's not gonna render as an image, it's gonna render as a fill, and that fill is gonna be really bad. Like it doesn't look as if it's tilt. I mean, right now it kind of does because it's in the fucking center. It's, you get the idea. Um, so right now, if I want to create like a secondary one, I would be able to potentially do something like this to get like something kind of match, and then I need to reorganize it to get the distance and the 3D and the thing, and that's just not going to work. The secondary option that a lot of people have been using is this trick. I hate that term, but it's a trick. So let's put our images right here, and then you want this to be feeling like it is a circular orb situation. So you just do this. That's an option. And so if you have like all of this inside of a frame, or like it's framed together, and you make sure that it's just going from here to here, for example, and that's clipped. If you get these elements to slide through, you will have that effect of it's kind of rotating, but it's not necessarily rotating. But you will see 100% that the fucking images are flat and don't move in the slightest. But it does render things in a way that feels like, you know, it's an arched thing. That's your two only options. And as I said earlier, if I had like this, and we wanted then to rotate these, what needs to happen is so wild. You need to have these points get like basically flat. God damn it. And then since you have that is in the right place, you can then expand your images to match your rendering. The thing is, if you go from this view right here to this one with a regular click and it's just smart animating things, then going back here, the effect or the way that Figma is not handling the transition and the transform of shapes is giving you this weird ass transition that I kind of understand, but it doesn't make any sense. So that's not good. However, I just thought about it. Doing that inside of Framer is way more simple because you can have a 3D transform on your shape and you can define a 3D transform based on a click or based on a rotation, based on a scroll point in the view. And so you could have an, a 3D-ish gallery experience on a landing page through Framer in a better, easier way than trying to achieve it in Figma. And I know that you have some experience in Framer, so that might be a better option for you. But yeah, that sadly is all you can do. It's not much, but it's something. It's not much than something, bitch. Can you say something less dumb? It is something. But yeah, it's just I know though that I think at Tremor University we have things in there. I wish there was a bit more search results things. There has been though. I know. um yeah, things like this are mostly like 3D-ish and could help for what you're trying to achieve. Like I feel like this one could be really good because it's a circularly it's a circular rotation thing, so you can have that on top of an environment. It's a bit more fun than just a museum experience. We've talked about the books before, and I know that there is another one. The one that I just did, for example, in Figma is basically this, but better. This one is a true 3D-ish. And this one might be like closer to what you're trying to achieve. It's just one corridor, but it's corridor. It's the same thing, you know. It makes sense. It works. So yeah, that's the recommendation. This one is always going to be a good thing, specifically in Framer, and I I guess 3D transform in CSS is going to be the best option, where you will be able to navigate and use like point and scroll to define like the direction, the distance, and so on. That's going to be easier in Spline, but it might require you to know a bit more about 3D. Whereas Framer, which you already know, should be easier, specifically with these things that I just shared, because it's it makes sense. It's fine. It's okay. But yeah, on the other things that we have in stock from last time, we stopped roughly. I think we stopped here, and there's been something happening. And that whole thread has been really interesting. So I kind of want to go through that. So Ilya is mentioning the fact that that logo looks kind of similar to something else. And Linear has a very similar logo. However, a lot of people have just shared like a lot of others logo that looks really, really similar. There has been like others that sadly have been deleted since then, which is kind of sad. This one is interesting as well because that's like it's not filled, so it's not the same, but it's kind of the same. And yeah, that's it's an interesting thing. But then at the end of the day, as the first person said, like this one specifically is a globe, which is a circle, and then you scratch off because it's the concept of the app. You scratch like a scratch map, then you get like the line scratched. I would have that with a more organic scratch instead of just lines, but I get it. Anyways, this one was interesting. This one was for you, Chris, specifically for the hand gesture management and things. This whole thing is really impressive, as always. I mean, she's doing a really good job all the time, and it almost feels like it's pre-recorded based on the fact that she knows exactly what to do with the hands and the organization and things, which makes sense, but presentation makes sense. So that's interesting. That is interesting. This one was a nice touch. That's about it. They are using some sort of a glass element or glass material to create the nodes that will then just create the timer, the thumb of the timer that you can just, skip through and so on. It's a very interesting output, and the zoom in on this one was really good. So I just wanted to mention that. This one was really, really simple. I like this a lot. It's subtle, it's pastel-y, it's very 2025, 2026. So we're going to see that soon, a lot more. Same thing, bottom navigation thing that I talked about for months. This one was really interesting. I kept it mainly because it looks similar. No. But it reminded me of the app that I'm building for perfumes, specifically because this one is like a plant management thing. They have like flowers, and these flowers representation looks really cool for me to have like as an ID, as a representation in like the perfumes. If I know that something has a flower inside of it as a note, I could use the image of a flower, the specific flower, as the background, even though blurred, but still, like that could be a thing. So I just kept that for that reason. This one is fun. Do I need to say anything else? That's just impractical, but also really, really cool. Um, it feels like you are not able to reach like 100%, uh, or not fully 100, but yeah, it's a nice it's a nice concept. That's it. That was mostly for Yan, which is kind of sad that now Yan is not there. Um, but this is an interesting concept ish, but also a break. So Julien, very French, I'm sorry, um, discovered that if you have your icon in the first place to be 90 degrees rotation, it basically forces the the sheet to do a 90-degree rotation to be displayed in the right orientation. And so you end up with this kind of cute extraction from the point. That's a bit of a glitch, it's a bit of a bug, but also, is it? I don't know. It looks cool, it works, we like it. The one that is above from Julien as well, it's a bit of a sad thing. As he mentioned, the cancel is the only button that works, and the next is a disabled button. And that's just not, that's not how people would perceive that because it's brighter and still you can still interact with it because of the liquid glass material. You can still like just touch it and so on. So there is a need for the default disabled button in material definition on liquid glass iOS 26 to be like less prominent, because right now it looks like this is the button that I need to click and this one is something that I don't need to care or pay attention to. So going back to some of the things that we've done before and said before, your disabled state, there has been like a biggest debate on your disabled state and making sure that you have something that is accessible, but you don't have something that is not like invisible. The thing that we have done, and I don't know exactly if that's probably not going to work.
Mom?
It does. Interesting. The disable state in the button page here is kind of non-existent, um, because we decided that a button that is disabled is basically the main button at 24% opacity. So it's still visible. It's not that visible, but it's still visible, and it's just at 24% opacity so that users know that there is a button that will be available later. And the thing that they need to have is simply this needs to be a tooltip um, right above the button that explain why this thing is disabled. Like, fill out the form. Something like this, for example, would help. So that if the user is trying to click on next and they haven't finished to fill out the form, that would be something. Or maybe you are missing the name field, or you are, something very specific. That is the good rendering for desktop. For mobile, you don't really have that luxury of having the ability to say with the tooltip, so you would need something like a toast, which is fine, but it's also like distracting. And what I would do, specifically in this case, is either not have the next button or have it like really, really, really dimmed. Again, 24% opacity is a pretty good idea. To just make sure that some users will understand that it's there, and that would work a bit better. But yeah, that's it. That's the rent. That was the rent. This one was the same thing as last time. The logo itself is not that impressive. The presentation is really good, and therefore the marketing or the video of presentation showcasing said logo is what makes it convert and get some designers excited about the design, the context, and so on. The logo itself is not that. I mean, it's good, not that good, but not that impressive of a change based on the initial font. Specifically, when you see just that, that's fine. That's fine, but that's about it. That's about it. That's about it on Twitter. I haven't had the time to stay in there as I said. I've been in there all day for the past 4 days. And I've done like one thing that was kind of working. We could talk about it. I have an ID related to the app icon-ish thing. So what I have in mind is in the home screen, or specifically what I had in mind in the first place was for the splash screen, but that's not an option. Get um, the P to render through a stripe. So something that would probably, if I started like somewhere around here, something that would probably get like from here with the mask. I shouldn't have done that. So let's do that instead. Got that in. And then I'm gonna read that message because I see it from the corner of my eye, but it's not. Basically, that. So you would have like a spray animation. Um, that just I'm gonna change that right after. It's gonna make more sense. If I do that here, let's do after delay of 0. If you didn't know that, this is also a thing. If you have like multiple transition that exist that you want to have with the same exact effect, you can 100% do that in no time to get like your animation rendered kind of properly, really quickly. That's kind of weird, but that's the idea. So that delay ease out is not good. Um, I feel like the last one needs to be a bit different, but that was my idea. I don't know what you think about that. Have you heard about on the cursive designer? Yes. I have. I haven't checked it out. I think that's the wrong letter page. Um, I think this is a potentially good thing, but uh, the generation and the creation content isn't as good as they said it would be. And just so that we are aware, I've been having this thing on my Mac for like, I don't know, what feels like a year now. But it's there. I have it installed. I haven't really tried it. It's just sitting there, and some of the time I'm like, oh yeah, I need to try that things out, and I forget, which is kind of sad. But most of the thing that I have been talking about on Twitter specifically, that's the thing that I'm remembering, has been looking pretty promising. But then most of um, like most of the outputs, most of the things look extremely like basic or common. And if you need an I get it, but like if you need an AI um, to create this layout, I'm sorry, but that's not. Maybe not. Maybe don't be a designer. If you think that this is a tool for designers, that's my point right there, specifically here. Like that's come on, come on. Uh, however, however, it is a very useful thing. No complaint about that. It just feels like a mix of tools that exist already to do this level of simplicity. If you are looking for something that will give you a very, very quick and performant one pager in no time, and you don't have to like think too much, Blocks is one of my favorite apps for website creation that doesn't require anything in terms of thinking. You need to think about the content, but that's it. Once you have your layout, you're kind of good, and it's done. You own the code, and you can deploy it like properly into wherever it needs to be deployed, and so on. The good thing here is that basically what it is, it's a simplified version of Webflow and Framer, where you can still do things manually at times, but most of it comes from the fact that you have pre-made blocks, which is the name, right? So you will have things that are like made in Bootstrap. That's the base thing that they have made since the beginning. It's not Tailwind, I know. But you have like bricks and blocks that already exist that you can just put next to each other, one after the others, and then define the design of said things in a more granular way. But overall, everything is just, oh yeah, I need this thing here, and then I need this thing here, and that stuff there, and then you're good, and you get the output, and you have whatever you need in like basically seconds. They have added like a new codes related stuff. I haven't tried that, and I don't know if the latest version would be able to launch. God damn it. Yeah. I have my license, but it's just like all of that is goddamn. Uh, so if I create a new file right here, let's say it's empty, and yeah, we don't care about anything there. Yes, 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 yes. You have this. This is a very bright light mode thing, but it's fine. You select your block. So let's say you are currently looking for the hero header. I'm building a website uh, for my app, for example. So I have this hero header that needs to be there. That's fine. That's the main point. I will have next to that or underneath that, I know for a fact I want a way to showcase an image with some text. Next to that, we will probably have something related to the features or something related to the payment or other things I don't really know. Let's say it's a feature wall, so I'm gonna use this as a feature wall right after. I then know that I'm needing to compare, or I'm needing to have like a link magnet or an email magnet type of situation. So maybe I need something like this section right about there, or maybe I need something else. It doesn't really matter. But you can really, 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 really quickly have the the blocks in questions that you need inside of your website to get the entire thing set up in a way that just makes sense. And Mizi, hi, walk on in. And you're done. Like I'm currently done. If I go into the iPhone XS type of situation, I have all of my breakpoints that are made, and the only thing that is left for me to do is get into uh, to that iPhone. Which one do you want? I need something like the 11 Pro, or I need something else. Like obviously this specific version of the app is not up to date, so I'm missing some things. But then uh, don't apologize about it. It's there to play, so please play. So like in no time, I'm getting something that will work. Also, I feel like that this is what I was supposed to do, and I messed it up. Um, but yeah, and now I have a website that gives me some micro interactions, some things, and it's done. Nothing else. And so that is much better in my eyes. Probably, I I don't doubt it. Um, they their latest version might at some point have an AI assistant to help you like build something from trusted templates. But then again, that's not the goal. And the reason why I'm so biased toward this one, and I have explained that in the past, I am one of the first buyers of version 0 of this software. I've been with them from version 0 to version 4. Um, I'm buying the license every time, basically because I'm from version 0. I have like a massive discount, but that's also a thing. Um, but I'm shilling it all the time because it's pretty good for what it does. It's extremely good, and it just provides all the thing that you need for creating the website, not hosting it, not publishing it like Framer or Webflow is doing, but just building the website itself, and then you just own the fucking code entirely. So yes, it's done with Bootstrap, so you need to be comfortable with Bootstrap in the first place. But you know, if you understand how it works, you kind of good. It's kind of fine. So yeah, nonetheless, that's a long as derail of myself to just say that OnLook looks interesting, seems pretty good, but the output most of the time seems to be kind of not there yet. Like it's missing something. They are using stuff that I feel like are just cliche for designer stuff. Like that font right here. Really? Really? All right. And then the other thing is, and we talked about it on that specific Wednesday, the cursor for the Tinder off, the Uber off, the Facebook for is usually a recipe for disaster because people are expecting that. Because this is now the market level reference that people understand, like cursor, they know what it is. And so I'm expecting cursor level skills inside of that cursor for designer. and then I'm getting it, and it's shit because it's not at that level of ability. So that to a lot of people is just that background is distracting. So that's is really, in my eyes, really bad. I would just say something a bit different. I understand that right now they need to have like a reference so that designers understand what they are kind of looking at. But yeah, you want to buy a Sony camera, but I don't know which to buy. It depends. What is your fucking uh, budget? And then after that, before I answer exactly, you said I want to make vlogs and cinematic videos in middle level. The ZV-E1 Mark II, these bitches, ZV-E1, um, or the ZV-10, I forgot which one it is. I think it's the E1 that is the one that yeah. So the ZV-E1 is really good. It's tad expensive. It's tad expensive, but it's really good. Uh, it has most of the thing that we are asking for in terms of uh, lens, the processing, the sensor is a full frame sensor, and the flip screen is on the side and not on the top. It depends on who you are and what you do, but that's the thing. It happens. If that's not in your budget, which is absolutely understandable, the ZV-E10 is the version that I think is like a bit better because it's the latest version of their vlogging camera. It's really similar. It's not necessarily the full frame sensor, which I debatable, but it's it's cheaper, obviously, um, and it's like it's good. Overall, really good. It has all the ports that you need for using as a camera for streaming, if that's something that you want to do at some point, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm not using this one, but that's the thing. But yeah, the ZV-10 is really good. I have a memory of they have made a Mark II for one of them, and I forgot which one it is. So that's the thing. The one that I'm currently filming on or using as a camera is the A6400. And that one is not really available usually. Like, it's a very old version. I feel like there is a new version that popped in. Um, and I got it for so cheap that I don't want to tell you. Uh, when I'm looking at that, I got it for a fourth of that. Uh, without a lens, but still. Um, that's the 6400 is really good. It overheats a bit with time, so that's why the ZV-10 is a bit better because it's overheats a bit less, but it still overheats because it's Sony cameras that doesn't change. Other than that, to be honest, we don't really have much more like yeah, there is not much more cameras that have been popping off lately that have been really good or good enough for things. There is one with a fixed lens, which I don't like. Um, and I think it's this one. And it's not don't don't do that. But yeah, no, it these ones are pretty good. I remember that they have like one that I was looking at, obviously because I'm, you know, baller content. This bitch is just so good. But I just like it because I like the way that the body is looking. That's it. That is it. This is 7K. I don't have 7K to spend. No. Uh, this is the FX2, which is like two generation before, and that one is 4K. God damn. I can't do that. So, nonetheless, that doesn't change anything. If you are looking for a camera and you don't care, and I wish, well, I hope you don't care if it's brand new or not brand new, there is this magnificent website. It's called eBay. If you have access to eBay, please take a look at it before you buy anything anywhere, because um, you will probably find something for cheap. Like, we just saw that this one was $700, and that person is selling it for 550 with a ton of things. With a ton of things. So I don't know why they're getting rid of it, but they're getting rid of it. Let me read that though. Um, yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, that's what they do. So take a look at eBay because you will find things. That's why I got mine for like 250 instead of 900. Someone didn't know what they were selling. I got it. So yeah, take a look on eBay. It's pretty nice. Make sure that, huh. So Sony is a bit annoying at times. If you know in which region you are, and if you know if they have like a region-specific lock, make sure to buy the one that is locked for your region. Like for me in Japan, for example, there is a ton of versions of the Sony cameras that are Japan locked, meaning that the software can only be in Japanese, and you can't ever turn it into English. You can't even flash a firmware that is like in English. It won't work. It is locked to Japanese. I don't know how they did it. They did it. Most of the time, the Japanese only are cheaper because it's made for the Japanese people by Japanese people, and therefore they have like a massive discount. That's the thing. If you have similar things in other countries where you have like a region lock or a region specific discount thing that exists, take a look at it. Make sure that, maybe you have a neighboring country that has something um, that might be the best option. Uh, you're welcome. And that's the thing. eBay is the best option if you want like a cheaper version of something that already exists and you don't want to pay for price. If you are not caring, or if you care about having like a brand new camera because you feel like it's better, which is understandable. A camera is very delicate as a tool, so maybe having it brand new makes sense. Uh, Take a look at the camera section in clearance, roughly around December, September, November, October, December location, because that is like when you have the most discounts. You will have, oh yeah, my grandson is looking for a camera. Discount at that retailer that is like common in your country. For me, La Fnac, which is like one of the biggest retailers in France, is where we have these things right here. And so, bitch, get out. That, for example, the ZV-10 is currently with a 15% discount. That, you know, um, is a pretty good thing for me. Um, Maybe not, depends on you. But yeah, if you have a Fnac, if you have another option, you could You could go there, take a look, see if it's good, if it's not good. Like that's the idea. That's the main recommendation. So take a look at the discount section, the clearance section when applicable, and that might work. The cheapest, and it's kind of sad, cheapest for what you're trying to do is going to be ZV-10. The Oh no, the cheapest is going to be the ZV-1. I think the ZV-1 is the first uh, of their kind of hybrid non-full sensor thing that they have tried to create 5 years ago. 5 years ago? 6 years ago? Some time ago. So that thing, um, to be aware of, and yeah, just know that some of the most expensive things are going to be the lenses. So, for example, this is what I'm using for the camera right now. I'm using the Sigma 16 f1.4, which is the regular one for vloggers. That's what we have all the times, and like that's a very good camera overall, or good lens for what it does. It gives me like a good depth of field, and I have like a nice autofocus. It's not like too uh, aggressive. I like it. Sometimes it's kind of breaking, but it's fine. That was more expensive than the camera itself for me. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. The kit lens, the one that comes with it, is usually good enough. The 16-50 is pretty nice. I still have one. Uh, I have two, technically. It's good. It does the job. It just has or is missing something for me in terms of what we have in there. But that's just a small details. Um, if you're looking for vlogging, ZV-10 is the best. ZV-1 is okay. It's older. Um, ZV-E1 is too expensive for you, as we just noticed. And then the other one that we saw, like the ZV something P or whatever, that's yeah, like that's another option. But I also like don't really know about them, so I can't really recommend you anything, sadly. Um, that's for brand new. For anything that is not brand new, because that's also an option, I could highly recommend you to get into the one prior to. So I'm using the 6400. It's expensive. It's $900 in regular market. If you go for the 5100, the A5100, I don't think it would be available here. Yeah. The Sony A5100 is one of the older-ish, 4K-ish, kind of, kind of version of a crop sensor with an E-mount, which is really good. And you would have the ability to just get good quality for probably the lowest price. You might be able to find this one on eBay for like $150, maybe $200 if you are like kind of scared of who is selling things and so on. As you said, like the problem for eBay is you're afraid if something goes wrong, which I get, I understand, makes sense. But yeah, this one is my first. It's my first camera for the stream. That's the first one that I bought, and it's working really well. It's just it does the job. It doesn't do the job perfectly, but it does the job. So if you are into that, just doing the job properly, then that's good. You should be good with that. You should be good with that. Um, and yeah, one of the other thing that I kind of wanted in the first place, and the reason why I went with the 5100 in beginning is because it is one of the smallest camera they had that is still overheating, because that's Sony cameras still, that doesn't change. But it, even with the lens, you end up with something that is not too heavy. And because my initial goal was also to get like into vlogging and content and all that, it made more sense. The fact is, right now I'm using this camera in on switch pod, flip pod. Yep, switch pod. Um, which is like a vlog related, like specifically related to vlogging. It's a metal band things which just flips out when necessary, and it's really useful when you just have like, or it's really useful to just have this available to vlog. The thing is, at the end of the day, vlogging is heavy if you're not like ready for that. It is. It seems like nothing, but when you are holding the camera for like more than 5 minutes, it is heavy. So the ability to just like flip it out, leave it on the table, vlog comfortably, and so on is good. Is pretty good. The thing is, it's right there, and I'm never taking it off the desk. So yeah, I tried that once in Japan. I unplugged everything and then went out to some vlog thing, and then I was like, yeah, that's just not for me. That's too much work of unplugging, replugging all the times. So yeah. Um, but that it's good. So I've gone through the camera section, and I kind of want to go through that section for a split second because it's gonna potentially help you. Potentially, if you are willing or if you are looking to get into content creation, use your phone. And I'm not saying like use your phone, it's going to be better, whatever. I'm saying use your phone right now so that you can use your phone camera, you can vlog with your phone, you can do things professionally, specifically if you have a phone that is like from 2023 and up. Um, you should be good. The goal is to make sure that you are able to, willing to, and patient enough to just create the content in the first place. If that's not your case, do not spend the money. Highly, highly recommend you to not do that. Because I have seen so many streamers, vloggers, YouTubers, or potential YouTubers invest thousands of dollars in the first week of their career without really knowing if they liked the like anything about the content creation and the vlogging and the streaming life that is going with it. And with that, highly recommend you to just use your phone. Be on TikTok, be on Instagram Reels, film yourself for YouTube if that's something that you want to do. If you can, like just use your phone as a camera, which if you have a Mac and an iPhone, you can do that to stream from your. Oh my God, I have this thing here. I I do, I don't. Um, I thought I did. I don't. Uh, but yeah, you have like the continuity camera. We talked about it before. Um, and like it's really useful stuff. that will make your initial content good enough. And I just want to show you something from one of the videos that I've seen 2 days ago, I think, or 3 days ago. I forgot. It's been a while. Do I have this? Yeah, it was one of the worst video it the thing that I've seen lately. Um, they have like an intro, so that happens. Fine, whatever, you know. Um, and so they started the video with something that is like really. I can count the pixels. I They have done that like on purpose, um, but their camera quality is not necessarily good at times, not all the times. Like there are some times where the camera quality is good, but when you look at some of the shots, if we have some of the shots like here, for example, or uh, this one, like it's not necessarily the best angle, it's not necessarily the best camera quality. You still see what they're doing, and they are doing these in between, um, often with like the most shittiest camera they could find just for comedic effect. But the fact that they can go and be successful based on that is proof that the camera quality is not necessarily the thing that makes the most sense. The fact that they have a mic, like handheld mic and a better mic overall, is what makes it more watchable in the long run. Um, but yeah, that's the thing that I would highly recommend you to do is just start creating content into or with the tools that you already have, because um yeah. Do it with your phone. I'm so I don't know if that whole thing is what they're currently doing. This one is specifically about the camera, but I basically what I want you to understand here, if you haven't done that prior, specifically there, that's one shot. What does that imply? That implies you put a tripod or you put your camera in a desk or something, you press record, you go into position, you start doing your shot. Once you have your shot done, you go in and go back to where your camera is, you take your camera, you put it into shot number 2, which is like this one, which means that then you, from here, you cut in the editing software, you get into, like, go back to your camera, put it where your feet are going to be, and then close the door back, reopen the door, get the shot number 2, make sure that you don't bump the camera when you're putting your feet. The thing is, now you realize that you are needing to drive out, so your first shot needs to be longer. You need to drive out, bring back the car in the exact same spot, or kinda, to get the shot number 2 that is necessary. And then you have shot number 3, there is this thing. That level of shot planning, and I said shot 16,000 times, is what I kind of want you to understand in terms of what goes into the creation of a YouTube video in that realm. And to me, it's not worth it to go through for myself, not for you, for myself, to go through the work of setting up a shot, defining the angles, making sure that it's good angle, and so on. I would rather just point at my screen and record my screen through my phone than record my screen. So if you go back into some of the first video related to the app, like when I just started in month number 1, which is roughly around here, the the ID right there is the most boring shot of my face that then switch into me filming my screen through my phone without really having to think about it. And so that makes a lot more sense for me than anything else. I don't have to set up anything. I don't have to think about anything. I just have my hands, point at the thing, zoom in if necessary. That's it. That's what I've been doing for the past month and a half. I had to switch to this and go into like a bit more detail into filming my phone through my computer and pre-recording um, the entire content rather than doing recording at the same time for one simple reason. And you will probably laugh at that simple reason and what it is, because it is kind of dumb. Um, the outputs of what the simulator is able to do is not working. I know that's very vague. Nonetheless, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So that's the main thing. Then you are asking, in my opinion, the iPhone is good enough, and I wouldn't say that it's the best option, but it's one of the good option. The best option is the phone that you have with you, or specifically the phone that you have with you. So if I was on the Redmi um, Note 13 Pro from last year, and that was my phone, that's the camera that I would start with. I wouldn't start with anything else. That's what I have. So I'm starting with this. I currently have the 15 Pro or 15 Pro Max. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. That's the best thing I have. So therefore, this is what I'm gonna use. I don't have anything else. I have this camera, but I'm not unplugging it anyways. So the 14 Pro is pretty good. Uh, and it's the one that I had before. It works, it does the job, and it's, in my opinion, specifically now, my homework for you, from me to you, record something. Record something, take like make a mini movie of 5 minutes. Aim for 5 minutes because 5 minutes is very long. Or aim for 3 minutes if you can't. Um, and plan, define, uh, ensure that all your shots are all that, and like that's what needs to happen. This is the reason why I'm not filming um, my screen anymore, because that doesn't change, it doesn't shape the fucking bottles properly. So I'm ending up with this, and if I was to like screen record this, that looks like not an option. So yeah, that's the reason. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, your iPhone 14 is going to be really good, and your output needs to be something. Um, Once you have like an output of some sort. Like even if it's like something that is really as small as this. Like this video is 4 minutes long, of me just here recording my screen and explaining everything that is going to be on the screen. Like that's the Monday recap. That's what we do. It's usually like 4 minutes. And based on that, I kind of know that I need to do more stuff and make sure that, for example, instead of having like one 4 minute video, I'm going to have like three 1 minutes video based on each of the section, and maybe like a 30-second or something on the profile view. That these three videos every week could come and drop on Mondays as like Monday recap, home view, Monday recap, collection view, Monday recap, discovery view. And that's just like 1 minute and 10 seconds for each. That's good enough. And that's much better and more precise and defined on that specific element. So that's the thing, like that's the idea, that's the concept. So what happened? But at least I have something. That's the idea. Let's do it. That's what we want to have. So yeah, do that. Create some content first, and then once you have the content created and the whole like shot by shot storyboard thing planned, and then you have stuff like that. If you have um things that you have to share them in the um not in the announcement, share them in the design and help things if you want everyone to see. If you just want less people to see and be aware of it, you can go into the experiment. um I love that statement. That statement is really good. uh Experiment if you want to just share things here. As always, the more people can see things, the better it's going to be for you, because you end up with other people giving you feedbacks. Some people are going to be really harsh. Some people don't know exactly how to give feedback. So you take the one that you want. But the more people can see your things before it's officially seen, um, you would have like a better output in the end. The the challenge and the reason why I'm doing this on TikTok specifically with um, one video per day that is like at least 30 seconds. It's just at the beginning of the month, I had 200 followers. I'm currently at 299. So in like a month, I'm posting every day. I got 100 followers. If you do the same thing on any flat platform and your content is interesting enough or relatable enough so that people are like, oh yeah, that seems like something that is interesting to me, you will have success ish. So yeah, do that. Do that. Stony, why did you say free labor? You need something?
Drink!
God damn it. No. No, this one is this I think. I'm not sure now. A teeny tiny sneak. Um what do you need? Where do I need to go? I see. Yeah. Dev app. God damn it. So close. So close. That's the same link. It's the same link, Thomas. That's a different one. I think I know what's going to be bad. Yes. Okay. Um, that's an interesting split. Yeah. Yeah, it happened. Uh, that's weird, but I don't get it, and it's fine. I don't care. I also see that that's a lot of repetition, and I kind of understand why they are here, as in Pate is available to buy all rent. Same thing here, same thing here, same thing here. And so Apple TV is only to buy, but you can't rent it. So I get that, but that's weirdly interesting. Nonetheless, um, the right, I'm looking at this one, which is the same. It's fine, and you shared the second one because it has like more stuff. What I had in mind was if I don't have it on click on play, I have a model with that, like with this flat rate, buy and rent inside of a model, like this exact thing that goes on top of the content. Um, yeah, but if you like right now, this is a play now button because you have it on your server, right? So for endgame, this is a direct play button. Um, for endgame, not on my server, I would have something that says where to watch, for example, instead of the play button. That's what I have in my head. And so that would give you this. Why though? Yeah, no, I get it. Um, Bam. Mm. 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 I see. Uh, yeah. Well, in that case, I don't think I care about where to watch on the page. Uh, I think I would rather you have something like, God damn it. Nope. Wrong page. I think I have done that, to be honest, in the initial section. Um, but yeah, I would rather, let me just extract it so that you have something. I'd rather you do that uh, and say that it's like not an icon only, and it's a right icon, and maybe a right icon and a left icon for this one. Um, that's not the right one, but it's fine for now. I feel like that would be much better for you at the end of the day to just if it's not on the server, you just do that, and that's it. And therefore, the where to watch, you click on it, it's gonna go to the movie DB directly if that's the goal. If all of the things are exactly the same link, like that's just what you need. You don't need anything else. You don't need to noisify the content that is around already really noisy based on the amount of thing that we have. Uh, and you know, like that's an easier thing for you. It's just like a full size button, and it's just right there, so that you remove all of that. At least in my eyes, you remove all of that. That makes it like less noisy, but still noisy. It's really extremely noisy, and yeah. What do you think? Specifically as well. Sorry, brain. Um, yeah, that's what I was saying in the first place. But you said if everything is sending you to the same fucking link, so it doesn't make any sense. Like in my initial ID was if you click on this, you get this basically. You get that with like a 60% opacity or an 80% opacity or something. And obviously, because that's me, a background blur at like, 16 something, and maybe like a white stroke at 10%. And the content in question that you wanted to have. Like that's what I had in mind in the first place. But because you say that everything here is sending you to the same link anyways, for now, if at the end you will have like the direct link that is available on the movie DB, then why not have the drop down? But yeah, that's to me, that's the best option. Like you click on that, which is your drop down thing, and with said drop down, you just, you pick what you want, and then you're done. But if it currently goes to the same place every time, whatever you click, then that is useless. But yeah, the obviously a thing, the drop down thing is to me the best option. Because that doesn't really bother you here, and you get the information as fast as you can. The other thing that I would give you as a potential is I don't care about flat rate, buy, or rent. I care about where is it as a viewer. So I would just have appears once, display, or appears more than once, display once anyway. So Disney Plus, this one, Pathé, Apple TV, all of these, and then this one, and that's it. So you get like a more compact, like where to watch, and it's on all of these platforms, available on all these platforms. That's an option. Would you know? that the user has like an Apple TV account? Did you define that? I forgot. I feel like you didn't. But maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am. Soon, because that would be way easier, yes. Oh, but yeah, that's exactly what I just said. Like, if I have it, that doesn't exist. If I don't have it, that exists, but in that format, at least for me. You bitch. I clicked on the wrong keys. That's on me. That's my fault. That is my fault. Maybe not that, but like if you have it, it's not where to watch. It's just watch now. If you don't have it, it's where to watch. And then on hover or on click, it drop downs to this um, to just send you to the movie DB because that's where you are going to send me anyways. My best option would be like, oh, it's I recognize that this is the Disney Plus thing. If I click on this, it's opening Disney Plus. No intermediate things. Like I recognize that this is Google Play. It's open the version that is available on the Google Play Store. That is a bit more complex for you to achieve because I'm guessing you don't have access to these links. You get access to where to buy, where to watch, but not deeper than that. Yeah, like that lake, for example. Also, these are all just watch related. Uh, goddamn. 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 Uh, well, eh. But you know, that's the easiest thing to do. The other thing, even though like kind of potentially different, the content that you would have here is also different if you have it on your server or if you don't, right? You can't really do that or add to favorite if you don't have it. Or can you do that? I forgot. I feel like you can't, but I might be wrong. I mean, it makes sense to just place it in favorite if you have it. Um, I don't know what the check does though. Is it like mark as watched? It's mark as watched, right? Yeah, personally speaking, mark as watched and mark as favorite might not be a necessary thing if it's not on your server because you want to make sure that the data is truthful from the data that you own and have. However, it is useful to know what you like and what you don't like, and what you have watched, so that the system doesn't recommend you things that you have watched in the past, or this thing that are not necessarily in your liked section. So I'm gonna obviously, obviously, I don't have a choice. Um, and that's what I'm doing right now. So in the that's gonna break, isn't it? God damn. If you go right here, right, and let's say I have that perfume that is in my collection. It is in my collection. It's not in a wish list collection. It's in my collection. I have it in my shelf or on my shelf. If I place it in my favorite, it's going to be recommended to me slightly more until the bottle level reach roughly 10%. If it's in my favorite and it's currently at like 5 star, like favorite 5 star all the time, I rank it as the best thing that I have. If I reach 10%, it's gonna go down in priority because I recognize as the system that it is something that I love, and therefore I'm gonna recommend it to you for very special occasions. Hence, if I know that this is something that is going to be really good for evenings or date night or things like this, I'm probably going to recommend that in the evening rather than recommending it in the morning, because I know that you don't have like much left. And so there is a recommendation system that just gives you like what is the most appropriate for the situation. That being said, if I had like a wish list situation, anything that is in my wish list, I can't really favorite them, and I can't really um, mark as own because it's in my wish list. And if I own them, it just goes in my collection as owned in the past. So for this thing here, yes, you can 100% have the mark as watched and favorite, but it feels out of place. So maybe not, but I don't know. That's more something to define for you on you to make sure that it works with your system before you decide on what to do. If it needs to be displayed or it needs to be there and it's feasible, even if it's not in the server, I would potentially make them or add them in that menu directly when it's not in the server. Like, oh, it's not in the server. You can mark it as watched and mark it as favorite from the menu rather than having that off here, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's the only change that I would do. Um, but yeah, no, that's about it. That's about it. I mean, that makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you. It makes sense to me. God damn. I am dying. That's all day. All day. Yeah. Good. I feel like that's good. I feel like that's good enough. I am sending you to Vash because it's been like a long time. It's been a long time. All right. enjoy the raid, as always. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. If you want to watch the VOD, it's going to be on YouTube, as always. The usual thing. It's better, it's simple, it works, all that. And yeah, if you have a question and I'm not live for some reason, join the Discord. Discord is pretty good for that. On another note, if you want to learn Japanese, Can is really good. I'm not biased. And some money for me to fund my cakes. Fund my cakes. That's what you do with the money on this. So yeah. I shall be back on Wednesday though, if all goes well. We have the Apple event tomorrow at 7 something. I don't know. I don't think I will stream it. It makes no sense. Um, but yeah, we can complain about it on Wednesday. That's pretty good. And yeah, maybe I'll do watch party on Discord. I don't know. That's not a thing that I do, but we never know. We never know. As always, eat something, drink something, be kind to each other, and I'll see you all on Wednesday at 4:20. Bye.